Ever since Diana and Tran first met, the Nephilim prophecies went largely unexplored. Now, the return of the Nephilim avatars have made it clear that the prophecy cannot be ignored. The Historium Magnus is stolen from the vaults in the Embor Palace. Scout reports track the thief to Karnac Mountain. Inevitably, Tran is not the only one interested in retrieving the book. Okay, this character is an Earth affinity with Warrior's Hubris. Warrior's Hubris is based on your strength, and Earth gives you additional hit points but less skill. I'm not entirely sure we'll keep Tobias, but we'll go ahead and recruit him for the time being. And I don't know if being a purple named mercenary gives him better stat growth, so that is something I'll test out probably later today. Right now is my limited recording time, so I have to record something. We'll go ahead and recruit these resources. Then we'll go ahead and purchase these. Then we'll do supports. So we have Sybil and Barnabas as a deep bond. We'll hit that last. Different kind of battlefield. So much has changed, Lysander. It is like waking from a dream to reveal a nightmarish reality. Can you tell me what happened to you after the battle of Fort Eureka? By the time I'd returned to the Inner Keep, Diana had already evacuated with her group. I gathered everyone else I could find, and we slipped out the rear Sully port into the river, where we threw together makeshift rafts and floated down the Herald under the cover of night. Myself, Raskuja, Nerima, and Sybil regrouped and made our way to the capital, just in time to watch your execution. The moronic cheers of the crowd nearly vexed me enough to blow my cover. Cheers, It was an explosion of emotion across the spectrum. It was that moment that tipped the scales, so that the coming disaster was apparent not only to the clever, but to all. In the coming months, I attempted to rally opposition forces among the enraged nobles who remained, but the Dark Knight and his Black Dragon had an answer for everything we tried. Following his dragon's roar was always death and suffering. No one could stand up to him, as he acted as the vanguard for an army of powerful Kotus mages and Casimir's Imperial elite troops. After witnessing the power of that Dark Knight and your resurrection, I no longer scoff at the supernatural, but now seek to decipher it. After some time in exile, I reunited with my friends, and we caught wind that Diana had organized a resistance force dedicated to protecting the children from the mass kidnappings. We sprang into action, taking advantage of the weakness here at East Wall Fortress, and held out just long enough for you to arrive. It's infuriating what they're doing. Can't convince the grown-ups, so they have to tear families apart and brainwash the young. It is indeed unforgivable, but this also presents an opportunity. This is a war of good against evil now, no mercy required for the enemy. Only their total destruction will heal the land. This is quite a bit more simple than reconciliation with a defeated foe. I was thinking just that, and you said it. Knowing you're the good, and that good versus evil does make things simple. So long as you stay good, Tran. Stefan and Lysander, airships. Hey there, Poindexter. Boy, am I relieved you're still in one piece. Really? Well, yeah, you're the man with all the answers. Doesn't even matter what subject, you can always get a little dose of enlightenment from talking to Lysander. This guy. Welcome back to the club. Thanks. Though I must disagree, the more time goes by, the more I realize I do not know. Yeah, whatever. Hey, speaking of that, I was wondering, why don't we just make a bunch of those airships and just drop bombs on the bad guys? No fuss, no muss, easy win, right? It's been a long time since we used airships as weapons, and for good reason. For the price of one airship, one could instead equip an entire army with cannons. Because of the prohibitive costs, and because of recent developments such as firearms and war dragons, airships have become white elephants in war. White elephants? You mean like pink elephants, my friend? White elephants meaning they're too valuable to risk losing, and that makes them virtually useless in a combat role. They are, in essence, expensive toys that have no place in a serious battlefield. However, when modified to serve as an armored transport, they can be invaluable, and that's just how we'll be using them. See what I mean? All the answers. Love this guy. Hey, that airship get a minibar somewhere? I'm feeling overdue and mighty thirsty. I believe that would be an acceptable modification, if you believe it will enhance our army's morale. Now we're talking! Ha ha! Stefan and Lysander have become friends. I think Sybil has other opportunities of deep bonds. Barnabas, I think this is his only opportunity in this game. This is also I believe it's been noted as a canon romance. The reason I'm picking it, however, is because these two were the ones who had something to say during the Chapter 12 upheaval. So that's the only reason I'm picking it, because then I feel like they belong. So we're gonna go ahead and go with Sybil and Barnabas and still get that spark.
It's the final point in the scavenger hunt, but the last clue said there'd be a priceless treasure at the end. What gives? Wait a second. Hi, Barnabas.
Nice to see ya. I knew you'd make it.
How'd you know that? This was a challenging hunt. I might still be lost in the woods.
Anyone who knows about you knows that's what drives ya. A challenge. If I made it easy, you'd get bored and I'd just be stuck here waiting like a fool.
Ah, very clever, Barnabas. So, you're the priceless treasure, or what?
Well, no. Just couldn't think of a better clue. Writing's never been my talent. I hoped you'd consider the time we've spent together. How far we've come, and that it's just you and I here in this grove. To me, that's priceless. And this farmer would like much, much more of that.
Oh, Barnabas. That's what you want? Just a lot more of me? Gosh, this whole big elaborate scheme, it's not what I'd expect from you.
Yeah, just wanted to try something foolhardy again. Maybe show you that I still get a bit of spark left in me.
That's so cute, but so silly. The last thing I need is even more foolhardy in my life. I want the Barnabas I see day in and day out. I want a whole lot more of that guy.
And that you shall have, Sybil, if you'll have me too.
Yes, you goofball. Come on, just walk me back to base and tell me how you thought of this whole grand scheme.
Heard about this place. These lava tubes will pull one over on you when you least expect it, just to avoid the hotspots of the ground. Well, best to avoid adventuring in a volcano, but you kids are too brave for your own good.
Alright, so these are the hotspots. If you stand on them, you will suffer a little bit of damage at the end of your turn, but most importantly, you will fail the optional objective with taking hazard damage from lava. There are a couple enemies here that are unable to be surrendered, or forced surrender, which is going to be the assassins. Let's take a look at our groups. We have Barnabas. He has an impressive 50,000 threat rating, but don't be mistaken, he's not actually that strong. It's the temporal modulator, essentially just claiming to make him that strong. His group is unique in that the characters that previously were squad captains, they can by this point be disbanded. Actually, I could have disbanded Abigail earlier, but I didn't have the need to. So now I've disbanded the squad captains of Reskuja, Abigail and Narima. Alright, so one of the things is that, or the reason for this is, I want their leadership to be higher, so if I do bring them back out to be a squad captain, they're going to be much better off. Finally, Barnabas is a knight in order to allow him to be more visible than the sentinels that we already have. Lady Clarimond, she used to be a Valkyrie. I demoted her and changed her to a Templar for the purposes of being a tank. She needs 2 dragons because otherwise this would only have 1 attack. Now they have 2 attacks. And hopefully she'll keep them alive. When I give her a level 95 dragon, she pretty much eradicates these groups. My level 95 dragon is instead with my leader, who is there just to offer support. The reason why I'm using her instead of another Sentinel in my army, I think my next best Sentinel is level 65. So I figure a level 99 Valkyrie would be better than that. Additionally, I wanted to try. I'd like to take advantage of her leadership bonus, which is plus 10 hit and evasion to my whole squad. I don't know if it's stackable with Lysander, who has the exact same field marshal ability. I do not know if these things stack.
School is in session.
We're gonna plant Barnabas right here, so he'll get shot at these enemies, and this will in turn increase my leadership growth.
How can I help, my lord?
Battle formations.
The time to act is now.
Starting next mission, it seems like I'll have to have a third unit in these tank squadrons, because I'll be suffering a lot more damage than before. I knew this group would be the last one to attack, that's why I shot at them. I would do the least damage here because at this point my Sentinel his morale has dropped down to rock bottom. He thinks he's losing these battles, but he doesn't realize that's part of the plan here. One man against army, is this not what legends are made of? Even when you're on high ground versus high ground, your archers will still get a +1 range. So those archers can hit me at a range of 3, even though I'm also on high ground. I only learned that during my earlier tries at this map. The bait has been set, it's time to spring the trap. It's not great, but we can attempt this. Now, I do have wizards, lots of wizards in my army, and they do a pretty good job at making enemies surrender.
Ready. He will always find a way.
Trying to figure out if I can make another movement this turn. I mean, I could take it very slowly and methodically take down the enemy, but I think that looks less impressive as a video. So I have to think about what looks best. Alright, so something of interest is this dude, he can actually attack this spot from here. The reason for this is he's a ranger, and his first attack in battle is a crossbow shot. That's technically a ranged attack. So he gets one strength attack or something like that, and that's it. In return, he's going to get breathed on by a dragon. That's not exactly a good trade for him, but sure.
What's our next tactic?
Still need to figure out what to do with this group. I don't want to run up here to deal with them because these rogues will rush out at me. So I guess I could block them off with this. That would work actually. Yeah, let's do that.
I ain't got all day.
Okay, that's even better.
You got a plan?
Eradicate them. Leave no survivors. And we won't have any reason to be surrendering to me if I don't show them the threat of death every now and then. But no, these guys will not surrender, so... Wait, what's his name? Oh, that's not his name. I was looking at the number 5845. I was like, is that his name? No, that's his threat value. Alright, now I can deal with this guy, but I don't have anybody in range of him anyways, so it doesn't matter anymore.
Awaiting your orders.
Again, I want to do a voluntary surrender because this will have my number of attacks from 4 to 2. I don't want to totally destroy this group.
Stay strong, everyone. Break their resolve. For my people, for my homeland. I must stay strong. Time to end this.
If I get closer, my raiders will also shoot, so this is a range of 4.
The battle lies before me.
Alright, I guess you can't save stupid people. That was them getting hurt. I want to double check something. I want to make sure it doesn't count for me. Okay, good. It didn't disable my bonus objective. It shouldn't. It's just that sometimes an error in coding would do that kind of stuff in some games. Alright, now to deal with these guys. We'll just rush at them. I think that should be fine. Because I have wizards, they do a fairly good job at making enemies surrender. Like in this case, I got 3 out of 5. This one is surrounded, so it should be easier. I got 5 out of 5.
The time to act is now.
As time goes on, both I as a player and my army will get better at making enemies surrender. Want to trigger this group, so we'll go ahead and have, say, Zateni stand here.
The army is ready. Battle formations. How can I help, my lord? We will always find a way.
School is in session.
Stay strong, everyone. Time to end this.
Alright, this will result in the raiders also attacking, but these are heavy infantry, so they do need a little bit extra oomph sometimes.
What's our next tactic?
I want to hit them too hard. I'm already going to surround them with a 4th unit, so I can afford to have a little bit lighter of a touch on these guys.
Awaiting your orders.
I didn't think so. Well, let's see here. Teleport you here. See if we can get any of these guys to surrender. They have good morale because they've been shooting at me for a little while. Okay, 3 out of 4. Not bad.
Ready. For my people, for my homeland.
That flying sounds kind of annoying when you have 3 dragons in the same group.
Master Sergeant awaiting orders.
I
Break their resolve.
don't have enough another way to do it. Well, hold on. I don't think I'll kill the bottom dragon, so basically I consider it a win for me if I get at least one dude in the squad to surrender. There we go. I guess I could have killed him if I critted. Alright, so that lowers his morale a great deal. I should be able to now initiate a surrender on him.
I must stay strong. The battle lies before me. The army is ready.
Got all day.
How can I help, my lord? We will always find a way. Battle formations.
There was still a possibility he wouldn't surrender, so surrounding him helps him make the right choice.
You got a plan?
The time to act is now. Ready.
School is in session.
Stay strong, everyone. What's our next tactic? Time to end this. For my people, for my homeland.
Looks like our thieves found their hiding spot. Seems like a trap. Better keep your eyes open then, and blink us out if things go sideways. We need the book. By the heavens? Isn't that crazy mage who gave us such trouble before? Yes, and apparently one of the Nephilim. Am I dead? Just about, but you'll be fine. Splendid. Looks like those Imperial goons couldn't get the best of me after all. I do suppose I owe you a thank you, How about an apology? You know, we're stealing our property. Oh, that belonged to you? Goodness. Had I known I was dealing with such lovely specimens, I would have just asked nicely instead. Name's Beatrix Pendergast. Pendergast? As in Edmund Pendergast. That's the one, darling. Edmund's little princess. Interesting. I wonder what someone from such a family would be doing out here. Beatrix, you must come with us. You are one of the ancient avatars of Donar, reborn into our world. Wait just a minute. How did you... Aha! Of course, you pulled me from the brink. Signature move of Donar himself. Well, well, fancy meeting you here, 1,000 years later. And you, the gigantic paladin, inheritor of Galzus' legacy, no doubt. Eat any good books lately? Beatrix, the Nephilim are destined to reunite and fight Xanatos in the final battle. It is written in the prophecy which has thus far come true. Yes, that is the prophecy, as they say, isn't it? If you don't like prophecies, take a look. All but one Nephilim avatar is standing in this room. We have much to discuss. Let's head back to Embor. Oh, really? And just why should Beatrix Pendergast comply with the likes of you, I have an army, and you owe me one.
You know, I always did love it in Imbor. But with the year-round bone-chilling winter, the endless featureless fields, the bland, lard-based cuisine, yes, what a lovely destination. After you!
Imbor Palace Throne Room, headquarters of the Nephilim Army.
You lovelies found me at the shrine in pursuit of my divine weapon. You see, as the legend goes, the original Nephilim sealed away their weapons after defeating Xanatos and spread them throughout the world. Then the temple decided, like many things, to keep this a secret. No need to fuss, you're in for a treat. Heard about your little divine intervention on Mount Karnac? Well, you haven't yet tasted power. These weapons will unlock every bit of your potential. There's the magic of Cyrene at Mount Karnac. Balmung, the divine greatsword of Ishtar at Sandraka City. Valor, the gauntlet of Galzos at Greywind Peak, belonging to our paladin of prolific proportions here. Skyrender, underneath the royal palace at Sayuna. Oh, I suppose the heavens have chosen the poorly dressed rogue to carry this torch, eh? Congratulations.
At least I'm decently clothed.
Last and certainly not least, Light Fury, the sword of Donar, which dealt the final blow to Xanatos, piercing the demon's heart. Of course, this one's at the Imperial capital. We know this one belongs in your hands, Tran. You holding Light Fury would be the closest any of us mere mortals can get to sitting down and having tea with Donar himself. 2 are already found. Mine and the Balmung, wielded by the Black Knight you darlings refer to as the Hand of Xanatos. But 3 is still ripe for the picking.
And if they get their hands on these weapons,
Then you'll be in a bind, won't you?
Beatrix, how exactly do you know all this?
I had a feeling you'd ask. So full of curiosity, this one. I take it you've become acquainted with the followers of Xanatos,
We have?
Oh, I know. You are a real thorn in their side, Avatar of Donar. Or, as they would say, the false one. Once they found out I'm one of the Nephilim, they tried to make me one of them. Odd. I figure they would prefer just to kill me off. That's what happens when you fly too close to the sun. You get burnt. But I burned them quite handily. Stole all the secrets I could and left to find my destiny. The magic of Cyrene.
And here you are, falling into our lap. Seems a bit convenient for my tastes.
We live in a time of fate, darling. Is it so hard to believe that we Nephilim would find each other?
Either way, you're Nephilim and we fight together. Just don't disappoint us, Beatrix. You've got to admit, we did not get off on the right foot.
Oh, pish. Bygones and all that. I do wonder, what besides favor with the heavens do I have to gain by lending you my considerable power?
All I can offer you is a target-rich environment. And that's my final offer. And don't pretend that's not exactly what you want.
Touché, Avatar of Donar.